so we are doing a video of our opinions.
On
And
what's the topic?
it's going to be on college life.
Basically, we're going to be focusing on how schools, they reel you in, education, go get educated, but once you're in and once it's too late, they show their true colors sometimes.
Yeah, so their true colors is we want all of your money, and when we have your money, we're just going to pretend like we're awesome teachers, and then once we get your money and you can't refund it, we're just going to sit here and talk about our family life, our relationship life, and we're not even going to teach you. And at the end of the day, when you need help, we're just going to say, sorry, we have to go home. You can go get a tutor.
Or even as simple as some people get really bad anxiety for tests and things. So you would think going to college, your teachers would want to help you. They would be more understanding, but then...
No, they substitute it for, oh, well, if you have a problem, we'll just set you in another room. Is it about that? It's about the knowledge behind it. Oh, well, it's the same test as the other class.
So, for example, I started off, I took one of these classes. This teacher started off really cool and everything, and then after we did her teacher review, about halfway through, you couldn't drop out of her class or else you wouldn't get your money back, so I stayed in. So slowly but surely, she was becoming very insane with the amount of work she was giving us, considering it was an option, not even a major. So we started off with a midterm. We had 3 midterms to this one class, and it was too late to drop out. 2/3 of the class ended up failing that midterm. At the end of it, she gave me an F, and I tried to go get it changed at the registrar.
Didn't you say that you weren't going to that class?
No, that's one I always attended. I never got an F for any classes that I never attended. That was the one I attended every class. I had it in everything. I was getting 70s, 80s, 90s, and yet she gave me an F.
Yeah, teachers are bitches.
And I just don't understand how the grades aren't regulated.
I don't understand how you grade it, because... No, I just don't understand, because I can be the quiet person in the class that does my homework, that studies, and maybe I don't participate that much, and I hand in my shit, and, I get a good mark back, and then we take a test on it on the same goddamn thing, and I come back with a 65 or a 70 on it when I just got a 90% on all the questions that were assigned as the assignment. That doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't make sense to me is when I write an essay, I can get one grade and then I can hand it into a different teacher and get a completely different grade.
Yeah.
For the same major.
Yeah. And in college, they pick their favorites too. If they don't like you, or, they're jealous of you, or they think that you're maybe smarter than them, because sometimes students have opinions, and sometimes it can come across as, oh, that students think that they're smarter than me, The biggest thing for me is you yourself know your knowledge. You know your education level and everything. But that doesn't matter, because when you go to college, whatever teacher you're assigned to, they're going to mark your papers.
Oh, good example for this.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So when I did my midterm for one of these classes, all the class thought it was a pretty good midterm until we got our grades back. So I got this grade back. I look beside me, this girl has a 30%. Behind me, this person has a 50%. I didn't get a great mark. I didn't fail, but I was not impressed with my mark. It was one of the lowest marks I've ever gotten in school ever. So then I went up to the teacher all calmly, and I said, are you curving the grade? Because everyone was getting such bad grades. She makes a C. No, I'm not curving the grade. Of course not. Yada, yada, yada. So I make my opinion heard, this test was not fair. She basically made us memorize the criminal code, which if you've never looked at it, it is huge. There's so many sections and subsections that she wanted us to write there, which wasn't fair. The study review guide that she gave us, she manipulated the questions and twisted them so out of format that it wasn't even the same format that she gave us a review for.
Yep.
So I spoke up on behalf of the class, and then we spent an hour and a half, me and the teacher, going back and forth about why she should take off these certain questions that she put up because they weren't fair. And then she kept on saying, oh, you have to come up with a better argument than what you're giving me. And I said, well, if everyone got a bad grade, maybe you should lower your standards. And then she blew a fuse. And her compromise that she came up with, the only thing that she could do with that, instead of just taking the questions off the test, she decided, let me just make another test and put it online with these 4 questions. And even though you have a lot of homework, it was like coming towards the end of the semester, yeah, you guys can do this on your own time, or you can do these extra questions were just as hard as the ones that she already gave us. That
I have something to say too.
Yeah. So that's your solution.
Alright, if you want us to be on time, why don't you show up on time? We have to get our coffee too. We have to get our steep tea too. You know, I don't have kids myself, but other people have to go drop their kids off. Does that make it okay? Like, I'm there for 8 o'clock, well, most of the time 7:50, and you just decide to show up at 8:15?
Or later.
But when I'm, like, a day, like, late, like, if I'm late every, like, 2 weeks, it's like, she was late. Like,
you can't handle
I just don't get it. I don't get how you can be paid $80 an hour to get your coffee, come in late, and then bitch about other people being late when you're just fucking 15 minutes late. If the person walks into the classroom at 8:20 and you got there at 8:15, you should not mark them late. Just saying. And when you come in late, you don't need to explain to us why you were late and then spend
20 minutes.
Fucking 30 minutes talking about your fucking kids or husband, because we don't care. I don't care.
I'm here to learn.
I'm here to learn. I'm not here to fucking care about why you're late or talk about a funny story, because guess what? We have 30 minutes left to learn about what you want to talk about in this thick book of fucking shit.
Oh, and then you're going to test us on this stuff.
Yeah, you're going to test us on shit, and then we're going to be like, sorry, we didn't hear you talk about that. Oh, maybe it's that day that I came in late. Oh, just read page 80 to 200. Fuck you, I'm not... Like,
I'm not paying... We're not paying for this just to read my book.
Yeah,
I would have been online.
No. I'm not paying you $5,000 to be a comedian. I'm here to learn, okay? No, it's not funny. I don't care if you have fucking 5 kids and you want to talk about how it was bathing them yesterday. I don't really care if one ate their shit and the other one picked their nose. Like, that's good for you. You have 5 kids. Like, that's awesome. But
keep your personal life and your professional life
There you go. There you go. That sums it all up.
Oh my
Most people aren't private about their life, but I mean, to give some advice, it's so much better to keep your life private. It's just so much better. I can't even describe to you how much better it is. Like, especially with women, all they want to know is your life. They want to know everything so that they can talk about something. They can't talk about anything important if they don't know anything about your life. That's why, you know, that's why people stare. That's why people always, like, wonder about you. Well, let them wonder. They don't know shit about you. Like, for example, when you go to college, yeah, the drama doesn't end. It's the same as high school. You go in there and people just fucking talk.
Whatever.
They talk. Like, oh.
Okay.
I cannot describe to you. Like, I actually said this to someone. I turned to them and I said, you know, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I did pay to learn for this course. I didn't pay to hear you talk.
Good.
So, and they were like, well, bitch, blah, 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 blah,
okay, well, you have to say something. Because
I'm sorry, aren't you 27 and you have a kid? Baby, you should have gone to school fucking 5 years ago.
No, it's not even that. Like, go to school whenever you want to, but you need to be mindful people are there to learn. Like, we don't want to hear you talking in the back of the classroom, talking at the front of the classroom. Has nothing to do with what we're learning.
Shut the fuck up. I'm here to learn. I don't know I don't know anything about what we're learning. Why? Because all I hear about is your fucking sex life you're talking about.
Oh, and you always seem to have those people in the classes that have to have an argument with just the teacher and themselves for the whole...
Page 90 said this.
Well, the teacher's like, okay, well, I'm teaching it this way. Well, in my opinion, that I didn't get a degree for or anything, but in my opinion, you're wrong. I always have this one guy in my class, and every time the teacher opens his mouth, he has to open his mouth to say the exact opposite. So you can say, oh, children need to be disciplined. He'll say, no, children should just be free to do whatever they want. He's actually said that. Oh, you can love more than one person. No, that's disgusting. You can't love your parents. Love it's a chemical reaction between two people that want to sleep together. and he just doesn't get it. Like, it just...
Okay.
What?
We're at 10 minutes. To sum this up, okay?
School.
You can't change the way people act, but you can change the way that you learn. If you pay $5,000 for a course and the teacher's late, the teacher's bipolar, the teacher's a bitch, the teacher decides to just talk about her personal life and then basically bomb us on the test because she just talked about her life, you need to just say sometimes, sorry, I didn't pay to come here and discuss my social life. Like, that's, like, there's probably other places to do that, but I came here to learn so I can get education. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to go home after 8 hours and only learn some things within 2 hours of a period out of 8, okay? Because that's just...
That's unnecessary and a waste of time. What a waste of time and a waste of money.
Waste of time and a waste of money and, like...
Okay, and one more piece of advice. If you do get a bad grade and you feel like you didn't deserve it, like, for example, what we were talking about, the teacher just talks about her personal life, go and appeal it. Go and appeal that grade to the person that runs the school, because it's not fair for you to fail a test because somebody else was not doing their job. Like, they went to school to teach.
Yeah.
They went to school, just like you and I.
Especially if you know you got like 9 out of 10 of the questions right and you studied hard, and when you wrote that test you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get such a good grade, and then you get back like a 60, like,
appeal that. You don't have to deal with that.
No, like, if the person beside me has the same questions and the same answers and they have a 90, like, what, do you not like me? Like, that's not the point here.
Exactly.
It's not about liking, it's about if whatever you wrote on the test, if it's correct or not.
Okay.
If you want me to pull out my book and give you a hard time and say, look, this is what it says, bitch, then you're asking for it. You're just asking to get bothered, and you're asking for students to come up to you and complain about their tests instead of taking the time out and actually learning, like teaching us is what I mean. Because that's taking up time. If every student's like, I don't get why I got this grade. Like, don't you get sick of that? Like, don't you get sick of people saying that?
Mark fairly, and there wouldn't
be an issue. Just because you got a degree doesn't mean you have to, like, try and hold back people. Like,
exactly.
You know, especially female teachers. Like,
you sound like you hate females.
I don't like females. I really don't. Like, you're my only girlfriend. Well, I have others, but...
But
it doesn't matter what age you are. Women will always try and block you from succeeding. It's just in the women's
Let's
nature.
wrap this up. Okay.
Yeah, okay. We're wrapping it up. So anyways, the summary of this video is...
Sometimes school sucks. Education is good, but the school system sometimes sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. But stay in school anyways.
And stick up for yourself.
Exactly. That's...
Okay.
Yep.